Based on popular demand, a lot of people have been asking me how they can transition into the maritime industry. I decided to come up with this video. I apologize for taking this long because I needed information, a whole lot of information to pass on to you, something really comprehensive that could answer all your possible questions. I just wanted it to be so easy for all of those people that are interested in coming into the maritime industry. Now, the first quarter of the year is almost over. This is March. So you can start from second quarter of the year, planning your transitioning into the maritime industry. Meanwhile, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please go ahead and do so. Turn on your notifications because I'm going to be making subsequent videos, a follow-up video for this one. If you have decided after watching this video that you want to come into the maritime industry, then you need to watch the next video. You might want to turn on your notification. I also would love for you to like this video, share it, leave a comment. I would really love to hear your feedback. And of course, if you have any questions that I haven't been able to cover in the course of this video, I'd love to answer those questions. Please go ahead and leave a comment. Let's dive in to the matter of the day. My name is God's Great and welcome to the Sailors Lounge. Before I go ahead to talk about you transitioning or coming into the maritime industry, I'd like to give you a little bit of statistics. A lot of people might be wondering, if I go through all these processes into becoming an officer or coming into the maritime industry, do I have a job? Are there jobs for me or for us? Globally, we have 8 billion people, right? Currently, as at the time of this video, we have 8 billion people, and we only have slightly above 1 million seafarers globally. So that is really small. And in the Nigerian space, for a country with over 200 million populations and our strategic position just along the coastal line of the Atlantic Ocean, of course, they direct access into the Indian Ocean, Nigeria contributes less than 0.0% to global seafarers. According to the outgoing Emasa boss, 2 years ago, we only had about slightly above 6,000 registered seafarers. So in the Nigerian space, I think there are a lot of jobs. All these foreign companies, marine companies that comes into Nigeria, they always outsource their workers because we do not have enough seafarers in Nigeria. So yeah, I would love to think that there are jobs for seafarers. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about the 3 categories of people and the 2 routes through which you can come into the maritime industry. I'm going to be pairing the first category of people that want to come into the maritime industry with the first route through which you can come into the maritime industry. And this category of people are people that want to start from scratch. These are people who are in their early 20s. They just left secondary school or high school, as the case may be, and they want to have a career in the maritime industry full time. You want to become a marine engineer, or you want to become a nautical scientist, or you want to become electrical electronics engineer or officer, as the case may be. These are the first category of people. So you apply just like you're writing JAM. That is for Nigerians. Like you're writing JAM, you're going to apply to any maritime universities, like the Maritime Academy of Nigeria in Oron, or the Nigerian Maritime University in Delta State, I think. So you can apply there, and you're going to undergo a 4-year period in that school studying either of these courses: nautical science, marine engineering, or electrical electronic engineering. Now, I must mention that you can only study nautical science, that is, if you want to become a navigation officer, only in maritime universities. You cannot study it in conventional universities. However, you can study marine engineering in conventional university or electrical electronics engineering. But regardless of the fact that you went to a conventional university to study either marine engineering or electrical electronic engineering, you still need 1 year of cadetship on board a ship. This period, you're going to be gaining hands-on experience, practical knowledge, after which you go back to a maritime university, this time around, not your conventional university, where you are going to undergo a period of 9 months training, after which you write your final exams, you face your orals, and then you can graduate into becoming a marine engineer. Or a nautical scientist, that is a navigation officer. And then you'll be given your COC, Certificate of Competence, and OOW, that is Officer of the Watch. The same thing is applicable for people who actually went to a marine university, a maritime university. The first 2 years you'll be in school. The third year you're going to come to sea for your cadetship on board any ship to gain practical knowledge, hands-on experience, after which you go back to school, complete your 2 years, then you write your exams, face your orals, and then you graduate, becoming a navigation officer, a third officer, that is if you're on deck, or you become a marine engineer, that is if you are in the engine room. You start as fourth engineer. So that is like the starting point for people that are just coming into the maritime industry from scratch. You must have undergone all your trainings, you finish your courses, and then you have your COC and your OW, Officer of the Watch. You come in as a third officer as the starting point for deck, and fourth engineer, the starting point for engine room. And of course, the EO. EO is just EO, electrical electronic officer. That's just the starting point. All right. So yeah, that is the first category of people. The second category of people are people who want to come into the maritime industry for short time. They just want to come have the experience, get the money, and japa, sail for a couple of years or more, and japa, leave us, we that want to save forever and ever. Okay, so these are the second category of people. And of course, the second route through which they can come into the maritime industry is coming in as a rating as an OS, ordinary seaman. That is the starting point for rating. So if they find it interesting, they might want to go up the rank, into becoming an able seaman, or a bosun, which is the highest rank for ratings. It's a petty officer. Okay, so there's nothing much about these people. If you want to come into the maritime industry short term, for a short period of time, you just want to come get the money, travel, experience, and all of that, and yes, you come in as an OS. Before I go ahead to talk about the third category of people, if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please go ahead and do so. Subscribe, turn on your notifications, like, share, leave a comment. I would like to hear your feedback. I'd like to answer any questions I haven't been able to cover within the period of this video. So please subscribe, share. Okay. So yes, let's talk about the third category of people. Now, these are the people that want to transition into the maritime industry, just like the people that are coming in as, for short time. They are coming in for long time. They want to really have a career out of the maritime industry. Now, it doesn't really matter whether you or you have any maritime background. No, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't. That's one interesting thing about the maritime industry. You don't need to have any prior knowledge of marine. Just come. Come here, all you people. Okay, so you come in and you have the plan of sailing for a long time. So this is for you. Now, you are particular about your sea time. For these people, you want to come in as an OS or an oiler in the engine room. So for navigation officer, if you want to become a navigation officer, you need 36 months of sea time. That means you must have been coming to sea for a period of 3 to 4 years before you can get 36 months of sea time. But you wouldn't be coming to sea for, at this stretch, you can't get it. So it has to be divided. Okay. So you need 36 months of sea time, after which you can apply for a portfolio from any maritime university globally. A lot of my folks like to go to the UK. They like to go to the UK because the UK COC, it's pretty much powerful. I would love to think so. However, you can apply to other places: Philippines, Egypt, South Africa, Ghana, all these places here. Their COC, Certificate of Competence, are valid. Okay, so you can apply to any of these universities, and then they'll send a logbook to you where you fill all your activities, all you've been doing on board the ship. And of course, the captain is going to sign it and give his remark. So after you must have filled your logbook, you go back to the school. For a period of 9 months, you're going to be undergoing training, theoretical trainings. After which, yes, you face your orals, write your final exams, and if you pass, you can pass out as a third officer, and then you can sail as a third officer. Of course, you're going to be given COC, Certificate of Competence, and OOW, Officer of the Watch. If you want to become an engineer, then you need 24 months of sea time. I don't know why this partiality anyway. I don't know, to be honest, I don't know. But you need 24 months of sea time before you can apply for a logbook from any maritime universities globally. And then you can fill it. The chief engineer obviously is going to sign it and make his remarks on it. Then you can go back to school for a period of 9 months where you undergo training, some theoretical training, because it is assumed that you've had practical knowledge. Okay. Then after you write your final exam, you face your orals, and if you pass, you graduate as a fourth engineer. That is the starting point. Now, I must mention that you do not need cadetship, like in the case of, freshers, people who want to start from scratch. You don't need cadetship because you've had the experience already. You just need 9 months to stay in school, after which you graduate and you get your COC and OOW. Okay, so this is all there is coming into the maritime industry. For simplicity of understanding, I would like to just recap. And before I recap, I would like to also remind you to subscribe if you're yet to subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notifications, like, share. Of course, I'd like to read your comments. Okay, so for recap, there are 3 categories of people that want to come into the maritime industry, and there are 2 routes through which you can come into the maritime industry. Now, the first category of people, which I'm going to pair with the first route, that number 1 route that you can come into the maritime industry, are people that want to start from scratch. Okay, they're in their early 20s, they have time. You attend or go to any maritime university in the world, where you're going to spend a period of 4 years. The first 2 years you'll be in school. The third year you come back, you come to sea for a cadetship to gain practical knowledge and experience. Then you go back to complete your 2 years, after which you can graduate and become either a third officer or a fourth engineer. That is a starting point, or electrical electronics engineer. Now, in between, there are people who went to conventional universities to study marine engineering or electrical electronics engineering. Like I mentioned, you can only study nautical science in known maritime universities, not in any conventional universities. Now, for people who have their degrees, BSc, Bachelor of Science in Marine Engineering or Electrical Electronics Engineering, and you want to further at sea, you'll be needing 1 year of sea time, to gain that hands-on experience, of course, and fill your logbook. And then you can apply this time to a known maritime university where you're going to spend, I think, a period of 9 months. Of course, you're going to write your final exam, face your orals, and then you can graduate and work on board as fourth engineer or EEO, electrical electronic officers. Now, the second category of people are people who want to come into the maritime industry for short term. Short term. So people that just want to get the money, get the travel experience, and japa, leave us alone to continue to be at sea. These people, you can come in as a rating. That is the starting point for ratings. And then you can grow up the rank from being an OS, ordinary seaman, to becoming an AB, to becoming a bosun, as the case may be. And the last category of people are people that want to transition into the maritime industry long term. Yes, they want to have a career out of it. They want to become an officer, say, officer on deck or officer in the engine room. Yeah. So they need, for deck officers, they need 36 months of sea time, after which they can apply to any maritime universities for a logbook. They are going to be filling all of the activities, all they've been doing on board. The captain is going to sign and give his remark as well. So then they can go back to any maritime, to the school where they obtained the log from, and complete a 9 months program. They're going to face their orals, write their final exams, and yes, you can graduate and come out to becoming third officer. Same thing is applicable to the engineers if you want to be a marine engineer. However, you need 24 months of sea time. I don't know. Don't ask me why the discrepancy in sea time. I don't know. So you need 24 months, and then you go through the same process as the guys, deck officers. 9 months, after which you come back, you face your orals, and you pass, you come back to becoming a port engineer. So I am hoping that this information, you're going to find it useful and you're going to apply it. And yes, if you're okay with this video and you feel like you want to make the next step, you need to subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification, because I'm going to be dropping follow-up video talking about those people that already have a career path and you don't want to start from scratch. You want to come in as a rating. Okay. So I'm going to be making a video of how you can start. That is the 5 basic mandatory documents that you need to have before you can even think of coming on board, or before they can even think of admitting you on board to come work. Okay, so subscribe, turn on your notifications so you do not miss that video. Okay, and you can always share this. Thank you very much for watching. My name is JG the Sailor Man, and I'm signing out from the Sailors Lounge. So keep watching and tell somebody about the Sailors Lounge. Peace.